Kenyon Martin back in the news, supposedly with some beef with Draymond Green, or is it really? Let's see.
For Kenyon Martin to go on to be the number one pick, had the success that he had at Cincinnati, go on, and like I said, and have a pretty good NBA career. As a Saginaw native, you relentlessly cheer for those people. So the constant shots has been a little confusing to me because I don't quite know where they came from. And you think, someone that was the number one pick that didn't quite have the career that I've had, but played similar roles in a sense, would appreciate it, would show more love, especially when you go back to a kid born and raised in Saginaw. You think it'll be a little more love. So it's a little disappointing to see the constant shots. I just always thought it'll be a little more love than that. But when you were the number one pick and effectively, underachieved, I guess that would be the reason why. Make the All-Star game one time. Most would say it's probably an underachievement. Be that I was the 35th pick and made the All-Star game 4 times. Defensive player of the year, Kenyon Martin was a defender. I think he would consider himself a good defender.
Guys, stay to the end of the video to get the full reaction.
Never quite reached the pinnacle of that when you talk defensive player of the years, or 9 all defensive teams that I had, that I have, and he has 0. It's tough to sit in a space of continuing to speak on my name and call my name out as if I underachieved or am underachieving when I was just simply the 35th pick in the NBA draft and somebody took a swing on in the second round and it just happened to work out, to become one of the greatest players in the franchise history. It's just...
I'm just sorry to pause it, but this doesn't really sound like beef to me. This really sounds like somebody feeling disrespected about their career. So let's just go on and see if there's any shots taken or disrespectful shots taken.
To work out. You'd think there would be more love from a guy who plays similar roles, but underachieved a bit. You'd think he'd be like, man, but look at the heights that this guy took it to. And so that the guys cut from a mold like us, that now it's a path created that they can take it to even higher heights. That's the love that I thought would be there, but it's just been a little weird and constant shots, and due to my respect and my love because of the connection that I once shared, or still share from being, born and raised in Saginaw, Michigan, I've held off on responding multiple times. Number one, because I just know when I respond to shit.
Oh, so Kenyon Martin said something to Draymond Green before? I promise you I didn't know. I'm seeing this and I'm like, after seeing Anton Daniels say that Kenyon Martin's always wanting to fight somebody, and I see Kenyon Martin in the news about Draymond, I just wanted to check it out and see what was going on. But to me, if you're in the media, you have some type of obligation to critique basketball players or whatever sport you're covering. With that being said, the players to me are a lot more sensitive these days, or a lot more, I don't want to call them emotional, but it's like you can't critique their game at all. It has to be something nice or nothing at all. And I thought players coming to the media to analyze and critique the game would help the players. The players would sit back and watch oh, they're seeing something from the outside that I don't see. Let me listen to what they're saying. Go back to my game up and maybe implement what they were talking about. If somebody tells you something, take what you can take from it. If there's something, take it. If there's not, then leave it. But if they put something down and you can pick it up, go ahead and pick it up. So I thought T-Mac, Vince Carter, Carmelo coming to NBC to analyze games, respected players, because there's been players before that, but respected players in this generation, and they kind of know how to talk about the game in a more respectful way than it's been talked about over the last couple of years, 10, 20 years. Stephen A's, Michael Wilbon, all them people that just have crazy takes and crazy responses to games. But the players can come back and look at the post game and see what they said about the game, what they seen, what holes in the game they seen, and maybe correct a few. But let's continue.
You know, it takes on a whole nother world, and guys get more publicity than they necessarily get when I don't respond. So I've been kind of taking the path of like, I ain't going to say nothing because I don't want to give people more publicity. But more importantly than the publicity, I try to stay in a space of respect. You know what I'm saying? I try not to be moved by someone just saying a thing or two. Because at the end of the day, I still have my beliefs. And my beliefs are, man, I've rooted for this guy for a very long time. You know, so I'm not a wishy-washy guy. Just because somebody say something, I'm not just going to jump out there and be like, oh, man, like, I got to respond or forget all of that. Like, nah, I stand on what I believe in. And what I believe in is like, no, I supported that guy. So I'm not just going to jump off the rails and attack him or be responding and getting in these back and forths because of the respect and love that I had growing up as a kid. But, man, the shots just keep coming. And it's like, dang, why?
That doesn't really sound like too much disrespect to me. He just said that he didn't have the career that Draymond has, and so let's see if Kenyon Martin has a different response to what was going on. Maybe he took it a different way. I don't know. I'm not in the situation. So however he took it, that's how he took it. So let's see what's going on.
To address something else that was, I'm assuming you got wind of a couple things that I said, because you responded, of course. That's why we're here, right? The latest thing, I was asked a question. So, not taking shots at you. Let's get, not taking shots, bro. Ask the question, you answer questions. You know this, you're in the media, you play for teams, you've talked to media before.
He said he ain't taking shots, so it sounds like whoever's taking what is coming from a place of like they're taking it out of context or taking it out of different or emotional spot and taking it as disrespect. Both of them saying like no disrespect before they say it, but is it a side hand comment? You guys tell me. Like I'm confused in this. I'm trying to see what.
Ask question, answer question. You don't have to answer everything. Everything doesn't matter to answer. We know that. But with the crew, Marcellus Wiley and his crew, and they asked me my opinion on who I consider tough guys. Not nobody else's opinion, not nobody what nobody else think. They asked me because they brought me on as a guest. And you were not on that list because in my opinion, you don't fit the criteria of what the question that was asked.
I think the question that was asked is, who do you think tough guys are in this league or generation? I can't remember, but it was something of that sort. I think who's the tough guys in the league over the last 20 years? It was something like that.
Did that upset you? Were you mad? Did that ruffle your feathers? But we all know hit dogs will holler. Goes without saying, right? So the people that I named, I looked at in that light. I think things you do are calculated. Just history has proven it. Name somebody. I'll wait. So you didn't fit that bill. So if that upset you, if that landed home, nah, bro, that's my opinion, dog. My personal opinion.
So should people get mad over people's opinions? Because I'm on here reacting to beef videos, giving my reaction, giving my opinion, really. You shouldn't get mad at my opinion. You put it out there, I get to react to it. You're a sports person. If you're out in the media, if you're out in the world in front of cameras, you give people room to criticize you. That's what took me so long to step on this motherfucker.
Nobody else's. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody else's opinion but mine. So
I don't really see any beef there. I just see people responding to each other and might be out of emotions. I guess Draymond seen something that Kenyon said on Marcellus Wiley's podcast, and he responded. Now, instead of Kenyon responding, in my opinion, what I would have did was find some type of way to connect and hit them up. They're in the NBA; they can get each other's number anyway, and talk to them behind the scenes. But I understand if you address something publicly, you gotta respond publicly. So, but you guys like the video, leave a comment, subscribe. We'll be back with some more. Yo.